Hi. Apparently, I forgot how to use the buttons on our own show. Welcome to Shooting the Shelf Wednesday One Shot. This week, it's my turn, and Curtis has done some awesome one lately. I've got one today that is actually something that's really new to me, but I am really enjoying it and want to recommend it to folks out there who might have similar interests in this. So, it is a YouTube channel called the Charismatic Voice. Is a let's see. Elizabeth Zaroff is a singer. I believe she is a trained opera singer, and just knows a lot of stuff about music and singing and all that sort of stuff. Now, I love music. I don't understand music, at least not the technical aspects. When I never really watched American Idol or any of those kind of shows, but I would hear people talking about, oh, it's pitchy or this, that, and the other thing, and like I knew that meant something wasn't right, but I didn't quite know what those things mean. Um, and I like a lot of music that has um, a more raw, passion behind it, as opposed to at least what I thought was more like technical classical singing, I guess. I know there was one time I was at I was a chaperone on a youth event where it was fine arts competition is what they called it, and different students would do different things. They would do all sorts of variety of things, and there was a couple people at the end of the day that had ranked high enough, and they performed. A couple people performed, and there were two young ladies that sang, and one of them was definitely more, I guess, what you would call like technically perfect, or more technically correct. Um, but the one I enjoyed more was the one that I felt was putting more passion and emotion into the delivery of it. It wasn't so much the perfectly poised, holding the microphone the right way, the different things the judges would look at. And that's a thing for me with a lot of stuff is how it makes me feel or the emotions that it conveys. If I am I getting the emotion you're trying to share in this story, movie, song, whatever it is. And I don't know how this channel popped up in my feed. I don't watch a lot of music related stuff on YouTube other than like a music video if I want to see if they did a cool music video to something from a band I liked or something to that effect. So I don't know how this popped in. I mean, I do watch some reaction videos, but that's usually people watching movies or shows for the first time. Um, and uh, Somehow this channel, the Charismatic Voice, I'll pull it up here, showed up in my list of stuff, and I believe the first one I saw was um, Charismatic Voice channel respond or reacts and analyzes Metallica's "One," which, if you're familiar with that song, is a very powerful song. The music video takes it to a whole nother level with the video clips they incorporate into it. Um, but you can see, there's a lot of different stuff um, that she's done over the last couple of years since she's gotten into reviewing more rock and roll and more. I mean, granted, some of the stuff is 70s, 80s, and 90s things, but some of it's more contemporary, more current things. So this is her channel. Like I said, her name is Elizabeth Zaroff, Charismatic Voice. Huge following, lots of great videos. I obviously I won't play any of these, but watching her break down and it's interesting which of these songs like she'll make technical analysis and critique things that need to be critiqued, but the way she explains things makes someone for like me who does not understand music on the technical level makes it more accessible. It feels like she breaks down some of these things that I'm like, oh, okay, that's why I liked that. It was my ears were picking up on things I liked, but I didn't know why. And she talks about like vocal distortion and where people like do the effects on the voice themselves, not the electronic distortion, and all sorts of different things. So I mean, we got Phil Collins, David Bowie, Jimi Hendrix, Coheed and Cambria, um, all sorts of stuff. Metallica, there's some System of a Down, um, a lot of really fun clips of her going through and listening to different things. Now, there are some ones where she's doing songs which I have not listened to any of those yet, so I don't know what her singing voice is like, but just the way she describes and now if you just want to listen to the song, it can get a little choppy because she'll get into it and like 5 seconds in she'll hear something and the way the orchestration or the way the song is like laid out will trigger something, so she'll stop and she'll talk about it and then she'll go back and listen again. So it's not a way to enjoy the songs she's breaking down as they are. So if it's a song you want to hear, go listen to the song or watch the video or whatever, and then come back and listen to her breakdown. It's a very technical thing, and they'll range anywhere from like 20 to 30 minutes for a 2 to 3 minute song. But it's just really interesting and how she breaks down what the performers are doing, and even the way some of the instrumentation and the way the music is getting put together and how they're working together. And it's just really fun to watch someone who really knows what they're talking about. Um, and just hearing her reactions and watching her face as she's listening to these songs for the first time, or you know, at least, and it's not one of those ones where like, oh, I've never heard a Beatles song before, but it's most of it is more metal, more rock music. Um, So it's just really interesting to watch her go through and break these down. I find it very interesting. The only thing negative I have to say about it, and it's more of a YouTube thing, is there's tons of commercials. I guess that's the trade-off with doing because she'll play through the whole song, through the course of the video. So I don't know if that's a rights thing to get to use the full audio and video from a thing. So there is that, but I believe she has like a Patreon and some other things. Like I said, I just discovered these on Saturday, and I've watched probably a dozen or so of them just because, especially like Metallica. I really like Metallica. I think they do a lot of things, and it's interesting to hear someone who's from the more classical, orchestral, opera trained side of things to dissect this stuff and be excited about it. Like it doesn't, none of the ones I have watched have come across as even the critiques, nothing has ever felt like dismissive or trash talk or anything like that. It's very interesting. Like I said, when you watch someone who really knows or listen to someone who really knows what they're talking about and is intelligent and articulate, unlike my video here, they do a really good job. And she just conveys that message really well to where I'm like, okay, I've always liked this Metallica song for whatever reasons, how it made me felt, but then she breaks down the music and the way the voice is doing things, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, that makes even more sense." Like, there's more of a reason to it just sounds good to me. Some people with art, they look at, certain types of art, and if it's too suggestive, too vague, they don't identify with it. And there's other stuff where it's very crisp, very clean, it really attaches to them. But some people who really like that abstract stuff will get so much out of it. So there's just a lot of different ways. So hearing someone explain why some of these things might be landing the way they are, just really, I thought was really fun and really, really exciting to watch. So if you're interested, go check out, search the Charismatic Voice over on YouTube. Here is again, here's the landing page. There's a website, all sorts of things if you really want to get into it, if there's something that you're really into. But I just thought it was a really fun, and I've got to check this out. There's a Final Fantasy 8 video here, which I'll probably watch after I sign off this video. Also because I want to hear what her singing voice is like. But Charismatic Voice over on YouTube. Go check it out if you enjoy music and kind of getting the behind the scenes on stuff. Or maybe you are musically inclined and you want to see if, your analysis or what you're hearing matches up to what she's describing. Again, like I said, I don't know that much about music, the technical side, the definitions, but she explains things in a way where I feel like I'm getting a good explanation and it all tracks and makes sense. So that said, I think that is it for this week's Wednesday One Shot. I'm Jesse Arnold. This is the Just Shelve It channel. And as always, what's on your shelf?